First goal of the match to Adamstown Rosebuds, scored by number 30, Anthony Wood. Adamstown Rosebuds lead 1-0. Scored by number 26, Regan Payne. Adamstown lead 2-0.
Keep it up, Woodsy! Come on! Safe! Ready, get back!
It gets heavier.
We need it. Need a week ago, yeah. Oh. You over the far side, are you? Yeah, yeah. Oh, you know, there's flats over there that... Yeah, right, I'll see you later. All right. Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah. Yeah, stop. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Will the cars on the hill be able to turn off their headlights, please? That's on the western hill and the northern hill. Thank you. Half time in the 20th section, Adamstown leading 2-0.
Sorry? Because I'll give you that look on. Tom, it is, you haven't taken the speaker down to work. What?
Again, I'd like to thank our major sponsors this year, Avid Project Management and the United Sports Club. In addition, a big thank you to Teleprint and KRD Design and Printing, Foresight Financial Advisors, Edgeworth Town Square, Celebrations in Adamstown, GJ Gardner Homes, The Butchery on Bronca, Colliers International and Hunter Law. Thank you very much for your support again this season.
up, mate. Let's go, boys. I'll just ring him. It's phone me. You're ringing.
Goal to Valentine, scored by number 16, Bradley Sabanga. Score now Adamstown 2, Valentine 1.
Dan's got to get moving.
Substitution for Valentine, number 10 Jack Curry, replaced by number 12 Mason Lavery. Substitutions, Adamstown Rosebuds, number 27, Joe Licata, being replaced by number 37, Cal Lawrence. Substitution for Adamstown Rosebuds, number 35, Glenn Goodman, replaced by number 29, Dean Pettis.
Get the ball, dude. Get the ball.
Substitution for Valentine. Number 7, Joshua Winner, replaced by number 14, Aidan Griffin. There's a couple of cars on the Western Hill with their headlights on. Could you please turn those lights on? Substitution for Adamstown Rosebuds, number 26 Breathing Pain, replaced by number 33 Darcy Hall.
You done? First one. Where at? Four. Is he at the pub now?
Look in the garage.
Goal for Adamstown, scored by number 30, Anthony Wood, scoring out Adamstown 4, Valentine 1.
Yeah, something like that.
U20s match this afternoon. Congratulations to both sides. A victory to Adamstown Rosebuds by 4 goals to 1. We're about 15 minutes away from kick-off in our first grade fixture this evening. Again, a reminder that our canteen and barbecue is going strong. Also a big thank you to our major sponsors this year, Avid Project Management and United Sports, as well as Kappa, Broadmeadow Physio, The Sign Shop, Lexus and In Touch magazine. Your support is very much appreciated.
Yeah.
Tom? Another one now, where's this speakers?
Whenever you want to give it a test. Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Is it coming through for your headphones, Rob? I might turn up my headphones. That's it. Yes. It's turning up. I can hear ambient sound. Testing. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, perfect. Thanks for that. Hey Rob, I'm good to go whenever you are.
Liam Ryan,
Testing,
sponsored
testing.
by Hunter
Yeah, I
Law.
don't sound that loud.
Number 23,
Testing,
Connor
testing,
Martin,
testing,
brought to you
testing.
by
That's better.
Hercules Building Service. Sponsored by Prime West, Edgeworth Town Centre. Adamstown are coached by Shan Cancel Sheriff.
Good afternoon and welcome to Adamstown Oval in Newcastle for the very first round of the NPL Northern New South Wales. The two sides who finished in the bottom two last season will be aiming to get their seasons off to a good start with three important points this evening. It's Adamstown Rosebud up against Valentine Phoenix at the home of the Rosebuds, Adamstown Oval. And it might only be round one, but in a competition which only takes four sides through to the finals, you simply can't afford to slip up, especially for two sides who finished in the bottom two rungs on the ladder last time around. Last season, Adamstown showed plenty of promise through the middle section of the season as they pushed towards a spot in the finals, but a late season slump ended those ambitions. And in their 130th year, one of the Hunters' most recognisable clubs in 2019 will want to make it a season to remember. Meanwhile, for Valentine, their opponents this afternoon, they struggled for answers last year, normally in the form of goals, and after a big spending off-season, they have a midfield to match any other. The question is, can they all gel together? That's the question that everyone wants to find out the answer to, and we may go a little way to exploring that this afternoon. Let's check the lineups though. And for Adamstown, the home side, just 5 players remain from their final clash last season, which actually was against Valentine. They won that 3-2 here at Adamstown Oval. And they include 3 of Adamstown's back 4, Ollie Davies, Ben Higgins and Luke Rutledge. Alex Graham remains in the midfield, and Chris Berlin, the veteran striker, will start up front. For Valentine, it's been all change in the off-season, with 5 players coming in and 5 leaving the club, but their starting side has a similar core to the one which played in their final match last season. New first choice keeper Perry Button will begin the season in goals, while Riley Russell, Chris Brown, Luke Willard and Josh Murray remain from the side who lost to Edgeworth on the final day of the season. The Phoenix have got a couple of youngsters on the bench in the form of Josh Kerr and Scott Gunster, 2 former Adamstown players, I should say. And for Adamstown, they've got Drew Grierson, who was at Hamilton last season, and Talon Martin spent some time at Sydney FC during the A-League. Didn't play a match, but he's an important signing for the Rosebuds. And the coaches, for Adamstown, Shane Cansdell Sheriff, he begins his 2nd year in charge at Adamstown. Had that really good run between round 7 and 10 last season where they won 4 straight, but they slipped off the pace late in the season. He'll want to rediscover that winning edge, especially with Connor Hayden, the striker, returning after that knee injury he suffered in round 13. Just when Adamstown were getting going, he went down and that hurt them considerably. And for Valentine, they've got co-coaches for the first time in the NPL, Sam Griffin and Darren Sills. They begin their stint on the sidelines. They've been working together at the Phoenix since Valentine were promoted in 2016. You can see the 2 captains, Chris Brown from Valentine Phoenix, Ben Higgins from Adamstown, both skippers of the sides last year. And our referee is Mark Carter, who is the assistant referee in last season's New FM Northern League 1 decider, which Bell Swans won against West Wallsend, you might remember. Valentine and Adamstown both engaging in a huddle pre-match. Round 1 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. Last night it was Western at home to Hamilton. It was Olympic who got the job done 2-1. And on opening night it was the Jets youth who upset Charlestown 3-1. Some really classy goals in that one. We're all set and ready to go here at Adamstown Oval. Referee Mark Carter just shaking the hands of both coaches and benches. And we're not far away from getting underway at a ground which Valentine have never won at against Adamstown Rosebud in the NPL or the NBN State League. 3 matches played here, 3 wins for Adamstown Rosebud. But Adamstown haven't won an opening round of the season since 2004 in the top flight. See if they can turn that around this afternoon. It's Brenton Olzema up front, the new man for Valentine, gets us underway. He's back from the Central Coast. Damien Smith is with me in commentary this afternoon. Smudge, how good is it to have the NPL back on Bar TV in 2019?
Well, you know, Bart, it's very exciting. It's great to be back. And I'll tell you what, conditions today are absolutely perfect, aren't they? There's a light drizzle, the ground's quite moist, the ball's going to skid on, and there's nice little cool air in coolness in the air. So it's perfect conditions for football. But I'll tell you what, this is a crucial game for both these sides, Bart. Talking to both camps prior to the game, they know how important this game is to get off the season to a good start. And you know what? Both camps are quite confident getting the 3 points today.
Well, in a season where you only play 20 matches and it's a top 4 out of 11 sides, you really have to start strong. The ball nodded away from the edge of the 18 by Josh Murray. Willard.
Yeah, I totally agree there, Bart. You need to start strong, especially if you're going to fight for the title as well.
Well, here's a neat turn from Olzema. He left Danilo O'Brien behind him in his wake, and Manoli Pappas just tried to grab a little bit of his shorts. In the end, no whistle from Mark Carter, but he's going to be dangerous for Valentine Phoenix. Brenton Olzema scored 7 goals for them back in 2016, and he's had some back problems since then, but he's managing that all right as the ball almost ran into the path for Adamstown's new front man, Perry Budden, was able to grab hold of it in the end. There's Judd Duncan, who has scored an NPL goal, playing up front. You may have seen him in the midfield a little bit last season, but playing up front for Adamstown this afternoon. Brock Oakley, it's his head to the ball. Duncan rolls it wide to O'Brien. What is great to see Adamstown, the names on the back of their shirts this season in their 130th year.
Yeah, it's a traditional club, isn't it, Bart? I've spent quite a few seasons here playing state league in Sydney and also a little bit of local league. It's a very traditional club, and it's congratulations to them. 130 years, amazing.
And tickets will be on sale soon for that celebration on Saturday, the 22nd of June. So make sure you get involved in that at West Leagues Club. There's Ben Higgins just in the back of Olzema. Early free kick goes the way of the visitors this afternoon. 6 times these two sides have met across the NPL or the NBN State League, and it's been Adamstown who have won 5 of the 6. Valentine just the 1 win, and that was back in that golden season in 2017. Sikulski to Alex Graham, who just swung it wide to O'Brien. Piloted it low. He was looking for Chris Berlin. Quite reach it.
Sorry, but just looking at the two shapes at the moment, it's very interesting that Valentine, they've gone in with like a 3-5-2 sort of formation, which is quite an attacking formation. And Chris Brown is sort of playing a central stopper, in a central stopper role, which we're sort of more accustomed to seeing him wide on the left or left fullback or high on the left. So, yeah, very interesting. We're good to see how he goes in this sort of more central stopper role.
There's Murray. Back to that man you were just talking about, Chris Brown. And Perry Budden took a heavy touch. Delivers wide and up and over the head of Motherway.
Very good pressure by Chris Berlin. That's what he does well, especially in defence. Puts pressure on the goalkeeper, causing the turnover.
36 years young, Chris Berlin. Man of the match in the 2011 Grand Final, when Broadmeadow got the job done over South Cardiff on that occasion. And Olzema almost through. It will bounce up, and sitting back in goals is Kelly. Does fall for Olzema, who brings it down. It took a deflection. And will be an early corner for the Phoenix.
Yeah, nice transition by the Phoenix. Sort of got Adamstown napping a little bit, but well defended by Luke Rutledge to block Alzheimer.
Missed a lot of matches last season through suspension, Luke Rutledge. So really important to have him out there round 1. Build that combination with Ben Higgins, the centre-back combination.
Same with Brenton. Did he miss the whole season last year?
Brenton Olzema,
Yep.
yeah, he was playing in the Central Coast or on the Central Coast with Berkeley Vale. This one curled in. Ben Kelly got a fist to it. Couldn't prevent it going out for another corner kick. So Phoenix applying the blowtorch.
I've got a feeling there's going to be some goals in this game, Bart. Last year, the worst attacking versus the worst defensive on the table.
This one swung, and again Kelly with a little fumble and Gloves on the ball. Yeah, not great reading the stats last year for both of these two sides. Valentine scored just 19 goals in the 20 matches, less than a goal a game, and Adamstown conceded 48 in 20, so that's almost 2.5 goals a game.
And of the 19 goals Valentine scored, Joel Wood got 8 and Aaron Nyankuru got 3, and they're no longer with Valentine. That was 11 goals and no longer with Valentine this year. However, they've recruited really well.
Smudge, can I raise you on that stat? So Valentine, of their 9 goal scorers last season, just 3 remain compared to 8 of Adamstown's 10. And if you look at goals, as you just said then, Valentine's side this year has 4 goals out of the 19 scored last season. Adamstown, 22 of the 24. So that's a huge gulf. And Valentine really need to find a goal scorer this year, which they had in Joel Wood last year, but they didn't score enough of them. Judd Duncan tried to ride a couple of challenges and was dispossessed.
Yeah, the experience of Bailey stood his ground, dispossessed him. They've got a good midfield, Valentine. They've got 3 central midfielders there in Matty Paul, Jacob Bailey and Benny Hay just in front, who's that high-quality player as well, coming from Valentine. They look good on paper at the moment, Valentine.
They do. Very strong midfield with Ben Hay and Jacob Bailey shoring that up alongside Matt Paul, former Adamstown man. He's no slouch, Matt Paul. Been at Valentine for a few seasons now after making that mid-season switch in 2016. Another heavy touch from Perry Budden, and now he can't keep this one inside the line. He's just struggling early on.
And again, Chris Berlin, his defensive duties is red hot. Put pressure on Perry Budden, causing the turnover. Just going back on Chris Brown, playing that central role of the back three. He's sort of playing as a real deep sweeper. He sort of drops off deep, positions himself really well. I'm interested to see how he goes. He's an experienced player.
Brought the ball down well there, Berlin, and Sokulski across the face of goal, and it's been prodded in. An own goal by Riley Russell. And the Rosebuds race into an early lead at home. That's exactly what the doctor ordered for them.
What a great ball across by Sokulski. But unfortunate for Riley Russell, he just got... His body position wasn't correct, and he probably could have let the ball go over the byline. But unfortunately for them, yeah, it's an own goal.
Also, do you put that down to the pressure of Connor Hayden, who was Adamstown's leading goal scorer last year with 5 goals, and he only played half the season. He was bearing down on Riley Russell. He would have felt him behind him.
And he would have been in 2 minds, Riley Russell, as well. Do I just knock it out, which he did miss-skew it and actually went in for an own goal, or do I let it go? So good pressure by Connor Hayden. Great ball in by Sokulski.
For a side who hasn't won a home match in the top flight since 2004, that's exactly how Adamstown would have wanted to start this one. And also maybe a bit of confusion at the back between Perry Budden and Riley Russell. This is his first season as the first choice goalkeeper, Perry Budden, a real chance to cement his spot.
And agreeing, great pressure by the front men of Adamstown Oval, Adamstown Rosebud, sorry. Great pressure, causing the turnover.
Smudge, I'll let you get away with that. The ground is so famous, it could have a club called Adamstown Oval. So Ollie Davies.
I was going to say Adamstown Rosebud, but somehow Oval came out.
It's round 1. You're allowed those mistakes. So Ollie Davies made his first grade debut last season for the Rosebuds, and that was well struck, and Budden with a little juggle.
Yeah, beautiful ball in, just a nice little dip just in front of Budden. It would be interesting if Berlin or someone like a Jad Duncan was running across Perry Budden's vision. It would have been very interesting. Great ball in.
That was beautifully brought down there by Alex Graham in the midfield, turned over and piloted into the bottom corner. What a strike by Luke Willard. It fizzed across the wet surface at Adamstown Oval, and immediately Valentine have the response.
Yeah, good pressure. Manny Pappas with the turnover. And what a great strike outside the 18-yard box by Luke Willard. Kelly had no chance. So To be honest, one was probably deserved sort of result at the moment. It's been very even. Both teams had sort of half chances.
And you could say poor defence turning the ball over, but you can also say what a strike to pick out the bottom corner along the ground. Ben Kelly had no chance. And Luke Willard, who scored twice last season for Valentine, as his first in the opening match this season. And he did score against Adamstown in round 21 last year, so that's 2-2 against the Buds.
Yeah, it was interesting. Mandy Pappas, he picked the ball up quite deep. He was sort of in line with the back four of Adamstown, so he sort of, and the bit of pressure, there was sort of no one to pass it to, so he rushed the pass and went in advance of Luke Rutledge, and Luke Willard did well.
What an entertaining start to this match.
I said at the start of the game, I thought there was going to be goals in this part. Both teams eager to get off on the front foot.
That's a terrific prediction. Will that be the first one you get right, the one and only all season? We'll find out. Sikulski down to the byline. Little bit of a dip, and Chris Berlin. If he was in line with goal, he would have nodded that one in. He was just inside the near post and couldn't quite crane the neck to head it on goal.
He did well, actually, just to actually get his noggin on it, actually, because the ball sort of, he had lack of vision there, took him by surprise, so very fortunate for Valentine.
Terrific to have your company on Bar TV Sports, wherever you're listening this evening. Adamstown Rosebud at home to Valentine Phoenix. These two sides finished in the bottom two last year, and they want to start the season on a high. And it's been an entertaining start. 1-1 inside the opening quarter hour. And both goals scored by Valentine. Unfortunately for them, one at the wrong end. Riley Russell was dispossessed, and free kick going the way of the home side. Dipped in, Berlin got up, Sikulski as well. It was a scuffed clearance away, which will deflect into the path of Riley Russell. He finds the goal scorer, Luke Willard. He had green shirts all around him. And they win the ball back via Connor Hayden. Takes them on. And he get onto the right. He tried to drill it in. And now Pappas, the attempted control. And Jacob Bailey just nicked in and won possession back for the Phoenix. Oakley. In Valentine colours. In a club that's not a Coalfields club for the first time in his NPL career. Brock Oakley, previously been with Maitland and Western. Olsman out. And now Motherway making the overlapping run from right fullback. Ollie Davies got a touch. Rolled into the path of Hayden. It blazes that. Chris Berlin showing some toe. Couldn't track it down.
Just looking at the different types of shapes here, Bart. You've got your 3-5-2 versus the 4-4-2 of Adamstown. A 3-5-2, you naturally play with the wing backs. And that's where Valentine sort of caused a little bit of danger for Adamstown, because they get nice and wide, especially out to Motherway, on this right-hand side, the number 2. So they're sort of spreading the game. Where Adamstown's not, actually, in saying that, Adamstown's nice and congested in defence as well. So.
And is this a decision by Darren Sills to play a 3-5-2 because he knows his strength is in the midfield?
I think so. They've got 3 quality central midfielders. So you keep them nice and tight together. They can work with each other. But also, you've got 3 at the back, so you've got a spare man at the back. And that's going to combat with Berlin's pace, especially with Brown in the centre. He drops off nice and deep and allows cover.
Well, here's the first yellow card of the afternoon, going the way of Brenton Olsema, who's disputing the decision with Mark Carter.
From this angle, he did get him from behind.
And I thought it was a fair decision. I know there have been some disappointment, or there has been some disappointment with some soft yellow cards. There were a few last night, a few yellow cards, I'm saying. And that one I don't think falls into the soft category. That free kick hit very, very nicely by Judd Duncan. Now for a corner. You remember Judd's dad, Shane, or you might remember he's actually the coach of Boambi, I should say, the Bombers, who came down and went down 6-0 to Charlestown last year in the FFA Cup. From up that way. Duncan got plenty on that. I thought there was a clear push from Ben Higgins. He has just barreled over his opposite captain there.
Just on Ben Higgins, his lovely fiancée Jodie's expecting a baby in the next few weeks, or so is he as well. So we wish him all the best. Rumour has it's going to come out pretty soonish.
Olsema. And now Paul.
And again, good pressure.
Great pressure. Really good pressing from Adamstown early on. Duncan, the outside of the boot. And now Alex Graham just loops it to the back post. And Chris Berlin unable to keep it in.
What Adamstown are doing very well, they're just waiting for that pass, and then the whole team goes and press, and that's what's causing the Valentine turnover. They're doing it very well, and they're transitioning quick when they get the ball as well. So Valentine need to be very careful, especially playing out from the back. They have got the spare man as well in Chris Brown playing that sweeper role, but they need to be careful. Probably need to be a bit quicker with the passes.
Olsema, neat little flick on. It does fall back to the striker. Does well to hold off Ollie Davies. 7 goals in 2016 for Valentine and 6 the previous year for Edgeworth in that premiership and championship winning season. Ben Hay with a turn. Shoulder to shoulder. And won by Pappas. And he wins the free kick. Really well done from Manoli Pappas.
Great pressure on Ben Hay. As you know, you can't give Ben Hay space because he can strike a ball from 30-odd yards out. We've seen him score from that distance, haven't we, Bart? And he can create as well. You need to put pressure on him. You need to make him go back. And he did very well. Well defended.
Launch long. Up goes Brock Oakley.
And again, just see with Adamstown playing a 4-4-2 there, right in the midfielders tending to tuck in, not giving too much width. I think they had a bit more width when they've got the ball, or if they tuck in, at least the fullbacks can overlap and get a bit of width. They can actually play a bit more.
Hayden. Again, not quite where he would have liked it to end up. Another way. And now Ben Hay received a little bump from Alex Graham. Smudge, my question is, there's a little bit going on the ground. I just want to know, Adamstown's pressing has been superb thus far. Question is, can it continue?
I think so. You're pressing the right areas. You don't press the whole game. Sometimes you sit off, but you wait for that backward pass or the sideward pass to press. That's well played by Valentine. And 3 in the centre. Nice 1-2s.
Just unlocking the midfield there. Russell. It's behind Ben Hay, but he was able to track back. He looks to get that left boot free off the post and falls for Olsema. And Willard, he has a double. Well, what an evening Luke Willard is having at Adamstown Oval. That's 3 in his last 2 against Adamstown. And it all came from that superb work in the midfield, unlocking Adamstown.
Exactly, between Jacob Bailey, Matt Paul. Just a few 1-2s in the centre of the park. They're experienced players. Got the ball out to Riley Russell. Came back into Ben Hay. And we just said earlier, you need to close Ben Hay down. He can shoot from 20, 30 yards out. Nice strike. Skidded on. Hit the crossbar or hit the post. And well finished again by Luke Willard. They look dangerous going forward, don't they?
And that's the kind of danger that Valentine didn't have last season, a player that could do that. And Ben Hay, just the mobility, the strength, the ability for him to just strike from that kind of range and get the radar pretty close to spot on.
Yeah,
if it doesn't go in and it hits the post, that's pretty much what you want.
I know it's early days, but you have to give credit to Sam Griffin and Darren Sills here. Just the shape they're playing at the moment. They've got them 3 experienced boys in the midfield versus the 2 younger boys for Adamstown. They're outnumbering, so when they get a chance to play the 1-2s, they can, and that's what happened just earlier.
Well, it all started so well for Adamstown when, here's an error from Budden. Chris Berlin turns the chest. Connor Hayden fired it at goal, and Perry Budden on the edge of his box made the save. And Chris Berlin just couldn't dink it wide to Hayden. And Valentine fans are really appreciating the scramble of their defence.
Who said Scott Carter will be missed? Obviously Scott Carter is a quality goalkeeper, and he's going to do wonders out at Western. But Perry Budden did amazing things there.
A nervy start from Perry Budden, but we all know his quality and his class. We've seen what he can do. Even when he was concussed a couple of seasons ago, he was outstanding in goals.
You know, just like I said before,
Chris Berlin, a little heavy off the chest.
I know it's early days, but I'm just liking the balance of Valentine's shape here, playing a 3-5-2. Them three experienced midfielders, really nice and tight. Especially Bales just screening the back three there.
Just a quick update from the other game that is on at the moment, Lambton and Lake Macquarie. We'll bring you all the goals from that one as well. New little feature we've got on Bar TV this year, so make sure you check that out if there is a goal at the other game. Let's hope there is, because we haven't had any concurrent matches thus far in the season. We haven't been able to show it off, but we will if there's a goal in that other match. You don't have to switch.
Is that like an FFA Cup?
Just like that.
Wow.
Is your mind blown?
Yes.
Here's Davies.
And so what I'm liking here is the right wing back, Thomas Mullerley. He's holding his ground. He's not coming out to Ollie Davies as the left fullback, getting pulled out of position. The strikers are working hard, putting pressure on the back four of Adamstown. They're well balanced at the moment, Valentine.
Alex Graham to Higgins, and the captain rolled it out to Danilo O'Brien. Judd Duncan has looked sharp so far. But all of a sudden, Adamstown...
They've got a bit of width here, which is good. It spreads the game.
They just seem to be struggling for answers, but they found some space through Sikulski, who was illegally brought to ground by Motherway. Just over 20 minutes gone in this round one match in the NPL Northern New South Wales. Luke Willard with 2 goals for Valentine, cancelling out the Riley Russell own goal earlier on. Put Adamstown ahead.
He knocks a nice ball in, Ollie Davies, doesn't he?
Here's Duncan trying to do likewise. Skewed off Connor Hayden's boot.
I think there's definitely more goals in this game, Bart.
Another way. Slip in midfield from Manoli Pappas, and look at Chris Berlin. Just bulldozing across the ground.
I'll tell you what, Bart, the opening 20, 25 minutes or so has been quite quick, hasn't it? End-to-end sort of stuff. So it'll be interesting how their fitness, both sides, and how the coaches use the bench towards the back end of the game, because I think it's going to be vital, because first game of the season, you know, you're not overly match fit at the moment. But just looking at Jacob Bailey, he's got his hands on his hips already, so he's been doing a mountain of work in that centre of the park.
While it is a cooler afternoon, it is quite humid. So it is a little bit tougher conditions than what may seem with the overhead cloud. Motherway, left and right, and hooks it up. Olsema, well, he had no one in the middle on the penalty spot. He wanted Matt Paul there, who was just sitting outside the 18-yard box. Can Adamstown find something here on the counter-attack? Sikulski. Now on the left, bending it. Hayden, what a powerful header that was from Connor Hayden.
Great ball across by Sikulski, and what a great header and great save by Perry Button.
Well, he's been close to one of Valentine's best. He started quite nervously, as we mentioned, Perry Button, but since then he's pulled off some superb saves, a couple to deny Connor Hayden.
Just back on that previous play from Valentine's when the ball was crossed to Brenton Alzheimer. Yeah, both, well, the whole three, Bailey, Hay and Paul, just all in a line nice and deep, and they need to be staggered. One needs to be playing in that number 10, even if they rotate it, to come in for that ball.
Sapolsky, former Maitland man, on to Pappas, who was at Lake Macquarie last season. Shortened his name this season from Papasparopoulos. As Sikulski just hung that cross up in the very still sky above Adamstown Oval. Mark Oakley. Another one of Valentine's recruits onto Willard, who probably had one of his poorer moments of this half. He's been so good.
And you could tell Valentine's been working on that play. As soon as the ball was played into Willard, Motherway was moving, waiting for that ball, but obviously the pass was just too far.
They are without some big names this afternoon in terms of their front line. Adamstown with Finn Beasley, who had such a terrific season last year, and Tom Cox not in the side this afternoon. So a bit to come back for them in the final third. Valentine pretty close to full strength. And looking the goods early on. O'Brien and Graham. Little 1-2. Now Ben Higgins, who scored his first NPL goal since 2009 last season against Maitland in round 14. Berlin. Now O'Brien. Adamstown seem to be favouring the aerial route.
When Adamstown get a little bit of width, they get a bit of space, and they're knocking some beautiful balls in there. And again, great run by Ollie Davies.
First time, thinks it in, up goes Chris Berlin. That's his strength in the air, but couldn't get the purchase on the header.
Yeah, great pressure by Riley Russell. This left wing back came back, Mark Berlin, put him under pressure, and unfortunately for Berlin, just couldn't get the head away.
And Smudge, after Valentine had that terrific season in 2017 where they almost made it into the finals, which was an incredible effort. You feel last year they may have just cracked under the weight of expectations.
Well, they lost Jalen Brown, who was Player of the Year as well, and he leading goal scorer of the year. So he was a massive loss for Valentine. But they had a few injuries as well. The previous year in 2017, they got a bit of momentum. This game's all about momentum. If you get the momentum, that's why today's game is crucial for both sides to at least try and get a win.
Well, exactly. You make a great point. Last season, Adamstown were winless, as were Valentine, in their opening 6 matches. So they didn't win till their 7th match of the season.
And so that rules you out of semi-final contention straight away.
You lose more than 5 matches, you don't play finals. That's how tough it is. Sometimes, if you lose 5, you don't make finals.
Well, that's right. Broadmeadow lost 5 last year and they came second. However, they won 10. But Hamilton, who came 5th, lost 7.
Yeah, you lose any more than 5 and finals are pretty much a distant memory. So you can't afford defeats early on in the season. Hayden, the spin and turn, dished it off to Judd Duncan, who attempted a turn away from Jacob Bailey, but he's too strong, too smart to fall for that. Holds him up. Running towards the corner flag. And he just didn't have anyone with him there, and maybe that's a bit of fatigue from the midfield. You said Jacob Bailey had his hands on his hips. They just weren't pushing up.
Yeah, they need to be a bit staggered. There they'll flat again. They need to be staggered. They need 1 in front, 2 in behind.
Ben Hay takes them on down the right. Did he receive a clip from Pappas? He did.
Just on Jacob Bailey, he plays that role, just sitting in front of the back ball, or on today's occasion, back 3 perfectly. Just screens it, wins the ball, gets off it. We don't expect him to go from box to box. He's a great addition for Valentine.
He's curled in by Matt Paul. Only able to be nodded over for a corner kick.
Yeah, great ball in by Matt Paul. He's very good at dead pieces.
Dead ball situations. I'll get it out for you, Smudge. Now we have got a goal in the other match between Lambton and Lake Macquarie. It was Michael Kantorowski who got up there and nodded it in. We'll show that to you in just a second. This one whipped in. Doing the defensive work with Chris Berlin. Scuff shot from Josh Murray. Didn't score too many. Ben Hay. We know what he can do from this kind of range. On that occasion, it came to naught. Connor Hayden lets it run on. Another way. Terrific work.
Just before, Chris Berlin's defensive header from the corner was superb.
Davies. Ben Hay had numbers around him. We will show you that goal from Arthur Eden Oval, scored by Michael Kantorowski. So the Jaffers scoring their first of the season. Go up 1-0 against Lake Macquarie, who many have said could be the dark horses this season.
It's well played by Adamstown. Great ball in by Berlin.
Up goes Perry Budden, plucks it out of the sky.
And Michael Kantorowski, back stick header. You don't see Michael Kantorowski score too many headers, do you, Ben?
No, you don't.
Or too many goals.
No, a rare one. And he's wearing number 9. That's why I was trying to work out originally who it was. I'm thinking Kantorowski wearing number 9. What is he? He's the new striker now. Chris Brown, who's playing stopper, a new role for him this year. The centre of that back three.
Just on Adamstown, they're four midfielders they need to tuck nice and tight because of the central three from Valentine. Bales is becoming free quite a lot in the middle of the park. They need to put pressure on him.
And this is this width you were talking about. Motherway, a couple of touches. Kulski got back to clean up momentarily. Still Motherway. Two young men engaging in a bit of a duel, and it's going to be a corner in the end. Sikulski 19, Motherway 22.
Yeah, I'd like to see Shane and Kensdale there. Just squeeze the midfielders in defence, just squeeze them in. Otherwise, need to push the left or right fullback just up a little bit, just to condense the three central midfielders for Valentine, because at the moment, they're sort of picking away in that middle of the park. They've got that spare man.
He took an age to go over to take the corner. This is Matt Paul. Here he is on the left. Called in again. Ben Kelly with the punch. And the clearance, well, from Sikulski. I'm not quite sure what was going on there. And it's going to be a throw for Valentine. Controlled down near the byline by Olzema. Riley Russell gives possession away to Judd Duncan. Steers it upfield. And Chris Berlin, that's the strength of the man. He was holding off Josh Murray and then played the ball to a man in an orange shirt and wins the free kick fortuitously in the end. Chris Brown able to just rake it back to Russell, and now Murray.
Again, Berlin putting pressure on the back three of Valentine, causing the turnover. He's worked tirelessly already, hasn't he, Berlin?
Then one ball up front. And he's just a little frustrated as well, you can see. I think he wants a bit more support.
Better width here from Adamstown.
O'Brien.
Pushing the fullback forward. And this way, Ollie Davies should come nice and wide, try and just do an overlap. That's way better.
Ollie Davies just dinking it forward. Now we've got a spider literally right in front of us on the commentary box. It's dangling down from the roof, so Smudge is just trying to deal with it. Are you a spiders man, Smudge? Do you like spiders?
I know a bit of Kung Fu, but not really. I don't mind spiders. Hate snakes.
And just, what's that? Ollie Davies. We're near half-time in this round one match in the NPL Northern New South Wales. Graham To Davies, another decent delivery, and it beats everyone. It's a bit like when you go 10-pin bowling and there's 2 pins either side and you miss them all.
I'll tell you what, Bart, when Adamstown get a bit of whip and they get knocking these beautiful balls across, they're really putting Valentine under pressure, and unlucky on a few occasions not to equalise.
Love an equaliser before half-time. Duncan hit that one low. Again, bodies sprawled and flying everywhere. It's a similar story. Valentine have done well when defending corners. Brenton Olsma has taken possession a lot of the time with space up front. Got another goal in that other game. Lambton leading by 2-0. Higgins had the pressure approaching.
Great ball.
The form of Willard, delivered it to Sikulski. And they're having a really fascinating battle out there.
They sure are.
Connor Motherway.
About the same size, same body shape. They're having a great duel.
And Matt Sikulski. Alex Graham. Now to O'Brien. Again, chipping forward. Chris Berlin almost went spectacular. Sikulski with a strike. And Perry Budden just won't be beaten at the moment.
Nice little play by Adamstown, but Perry Budden, what a terrific save. It was at a good height for him to palm the ball away, but what a great save.
Judd Duncan again. Ollie Davies. Angles the header to Ben Higgins. And now Pappas. Alex Graham. And Higgins, this is hooked high up into the sky. Berlin was rising, but Bailey won the header. That's just what he does, Jacob Bailey.
He sure does. I was about to say the same thing, Bart.
Does that dirty work, doesn't he? Ben Kelly pilots that one straight over the sideline, and after a bit of pressure for Valentine themselves, they've soaked it up, and now they have a chance to create their own kind of pressure down the other end.
Tell you what, Ben, this has been a very entertaining game. It's end-to-end, isn't it?
Very much. Terrific start to the season.
And both sides are playing for 3 points, obviously, but they're...
And these two sides with the bottom two, the worst defences last season, the bottom two, and also the worst attack last season.
That's right. And just at Lambton, there's been another goal, Ben. 3-0 to the Jaffers.
It's an issue that Lake Macquarie had last season as well, conceding goals. They can score some, but it's not a great start for them against the machine, which is Lambton Jaffers. They're a terrific side when they get themselves going. We'll bring those goals to you shortly.
And again, good pressure by Adamstown Rosebuds.
Judd Duncan turning in the midfield, and Pappas has some open pastures ahead of him. Matt Sikulski on the left, calls it back, no one there. It does spray off the side of Chris Berlin's boot. Falls to Pappas. What's his option here? Sikulski, Davies. It's that with some dip and height, and Chris Berlin tried to put off Perry Budden, couldn't quite do so.
I will say, Adamstown, they look good going forward, don't they? They just need to tighten up this defence a little bit in their midfield structure, but they look good going forward. They've had quite a few chances today.
So Luke Willard with 2 goals this afternoon for for Valentine after Riley Russell opened the scoring for Adamstown. He put it into his own net. Ollie Davies couldn't pick out Chris Berlin. Now Chris Brown running like a gazelle down there. The 32-year-old.
Yeah, he's been marshalling his troops really well at the back there. Chris Brown, that's his experience. It's a good move by Darren Seals and Sam Griffin.
Just tell me about the co-coaches. How do you find in your career? Is it something as Judd Duncan curls it in? Brown with the touch.
Yeah, I think it works well if
Brenton Olzema is brought to ground very awkwardly. And it's good to see him get back to his feet as Ben Higgins goes into the book.
So just on the co-coaching roles, obviously Darren Seals and Sam Griffin, they've been working together for many years. So obviously that, you know, they've both got the same ideas. They probably think alike, and so for them, I don't think it'll be an issue. But if you've got two coaches that, you know, have different ideas, I think one needs to be accountable in the end. I think, and one, you need someone there to make a decision.
Willard, he's already got two. He's looking for a first half hat-trick. Still spinning and turning. Bailey receives the crumbs. Motherway. Sending Sikulski this way and that, and Ollie Davies with an important toe in. Corner for Valentine. For example, you couldn't have Jose Mourinho and Pep Guardiola co-coaching.
Not at all. They've got totally different styles. And I think it's good to have someone accountable in the end and someone who's accountable on the final decision. However, with Seals and Griffin, they've known each other. They've worked together for many years, so I think it'll probably work really well.
Darren Seals just trying to help Sam Griffin step up to that head coaching role. I think it's a terrific way to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Russell. Now Bailey.
And as a coach these days, it takes up so much time.
Very good to be able to share the load. Up and over the top, Luke Willard. He was beyond Ollie Davies, and the flag was down, so had the pass maybe had a little less weight on it. There was a chance on the way for Valentine as Ben Hay.
We need to give a birthday shout out, Bar, to Andrew Carney, one of the all-time greats at West Wallsend.
There's Matt Sikulski chopped down by Motherway. A bit of frustration. Those two have been going at it thus far.
Yeah, big happy birthday to Andrew Carney. He's a great fella. A quality young local player. A legend out west. And we wish him happy birthday. And he loves you, Bart, on Fox Sports too. Loves Bar TV. So happy birthday, Carnes.
How'd you know it was his birthday, Smudge?
I'm just guessing.
You're a good guesser, though. Well, happy birthday, Andrew. Hope it's a good one for you.
No doubt he'll enjoy himself.
Ben Hay dinks it infield, and Ultima was tracking back.
And again, good pressure by Adamstown, by Pappas, causing the turnover.
O'Brien and now Hayden.
You'd have to say both sides are giving 100%, aren't they? The work ethic on both sides has been terrific.
Bailey, just ball slipped from his boot, and now Judd Duncan foraying forward. O'Brien. Up goes Berlin. Took a deflection off another head as well, and Sikulski was just flying through the air. And in the end, Mark Carter has said it's come off Perry Budden last, which is surprising. I thought it may have come off Sikulski, but go with the referee.
I tend to agree with you there, but we haven't got replays here. But just at first glance, it looked like it should be a goal kick.
Duncan on set piece duty. And the crisis averted for Valentine. The free kick goes their way with Bailey down in the box. And we will grab those other goals for you in the Lambton Jaffers match against the Lake Macquarie Roosters. But it's half-time here at Adamstown Oval, and after a really good start for the Rosebuds, where they led by a goal to nil inside the opening 10 minutes, there was a response in the form of Luke Willard. He struck twice. The first goal after Ben Hay had a super strike from outside the box and was put into the back of the net by the Phoenix front man, and what a start to his season. 3 in his last 2 now against Adamstown Rosebud, who have a little bit of work to do in the second half to get back into this one. Half time at Adamstown Oval, Adamstown Rosebud 1, Valentine Phoenix 2. Smudge, your thoughts on that first half?
Yeah, very entertaining game, hasn't it been, Bart? But I think both coaches will be reasonably happy with the way that both sides have performed. It's the first game of the year, so both sides are going to be a little bit rusty. Both sides are playing really well when they've got wet and going forward. However, both sides just need to tidy up a little bit, because there has been quite a few chances either end. So I'm looking forward to the second half, Bart, and I still think there's going to be more goals. It's very open.
Well, I agree. Let's have a quick break, Smudge. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Valentine, the visitors, leading by 2 goals to 1 at Adamstown Oval.
A final thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Adamstown Oval in Newcastle for round one of the NPL Northern New South Wales. Adamstown Rosebud up against Valentine Phoenix, two sides who finished at the bottom of the table last season. They were looking to start this campaign on a high. Adamstown led early, and then Luke Willard scored twice to put Valentine ahead. Adamstown get us underway in this second half, Smudge, and do you see them winning their first match in the opening round in the top flight since 2004?
Oh, really? Maybe, but I'll tell you what, I think there's a lot of swings and roundabouts in this game at the moment. Talking to Sam Griffin,
It's Riley Russell.
Yeah, talking to Sam Griffin, just saying they weren't too happy with their first half. They thought their turnover was a bit too much. They thought they could be better going forward, plus also defensively, obviously the own goal. But overall, they're in a great position at the moment, 2-1 up at half-time, and on the attack.
They really couldn't have asked for a better start to this one, even though they did concede early. They've been terrific since then.
But during the half-time break, I went to the bathroom, and the Adamstown Rosebuds convinced me I'm buying a beer stubby holder to celebrate their 130th anniversary this year. So.
Yeah, make sure you get involved. That is on Saturday, the 22nd of June. Tickets will be out soon. If not now, they'll be out at the Starlight Room at West's. Another corner kick for Valentine. And as much as Valentine lead by 2-1, I think based on chances in the first half, it probably deserves to be locked up. Perry Budden made some terrific saves in the first half to deny Matt Sikulski and Connor Hayden on a couple of chances. It's Valentine who are just starting their second half a little better. Smudge at Arthur Eden Oval. Lambton Jaffers leading Lake Macquarie 3-0, and they've just piled on the pain before half time, and they still lead it by 3-0. So Nick Webb's got a bit of work to do there.
Yeah, it sounds like he'd be very disappointed. The thing with Lake Macquarie, they're great going forward, but defensive last year, that's where they struggled. That was part of the reason they came sort of mid to bottom table.
This one dinked in, and it falls for Olzema. He's trying to make it through a wall of bodies. Ben Kelly has dived on the ball in the end. He may have copped a boot in the chest, not in the stomach, and I hope not lower, Smudge. But he is writhing in pain, Ben Kelly.
To be honest, I had no idea what happened there. The ball was just bouncing around everywhere. Everyone seemed to be missing it. But Ben Kelly's got up.
Hand, his right hand. It's a bit like a ruck and maul there.
It was.
The way Brenton Olzema was trying to find a way through. A wall of green and red. A reminder, tomorrow on Bar TV, we've got the grand final rematch. Broadmeadow Magic at home to Edgeworth Eagles. Looking forward to that one with Chris Turner. Myself and Chris Turner will be there for that one. This one dinked up the line. Ollie Davies tracking back for Adamstown. They are very narrow at the moment, the Rosebuds. Some space out here on this near side. Can they look to stretch the Phoenix?
Yeah, I like to say, I said in the first half, but I like to see him play with a little bit more width, especially going forward, especially now. Now they need to really shift nice and quick, but right on the touchline.
And it's been a very slow start to this second half. Maybe just a bit of fatigue. Players trying to warm up again after the half-time break. It was such a frantic start to the match. And you just saw Ollie Davies took an age to play the ball back to Ben Kelly in the preceding play. So may just be getting to the players, the humidity here at Adamstown Oval. Judd Duncan. Little sneaky nudge from Jacob Bailey forced him to ground.
He does that well, Bales. He knows how to slow the play down when they're under pressure. Just a little nudge. Good width here from Adamstown.
O'Brien. This one low and hard. Another deflection. This time off Josh Murray. And luckily for Valentine, straight into the arms of Perry Budden. Imagine that, 2 own goals. If that one had dipped in.
Another beautiful ball in from the wide areas.
It's where Adamstown are looking to find the opening. There's an opening now for Brenton Olsema, but Ben Higgins snuffs it out.
And again, good transition by Valentine. They move the ball quick. They've gone in their defensive third on the attack in about 4 or 5 seconds.
Another corner, whipped in, low and hard, but Adamstown deal with it well. Duncan, now into the path of Connor Hayden, who had some good chances in that first half, was a little quiet near the end of the opening 45. Trying to get himself back involved here. O'Brien, well, he's been given a little bit of a nudge by Matt Paul and went careering into Connor Hayden. There's one possession back though, Adamstown. Higgins.
Nice ball by Higgins.
Very calm in possession. Former Magic man. Stalwart of the club. Made the move to Adamstown last season.
I thought it was a good move by Benny to move from Broadmeadow to Adamstown. He was a stalwart of the Magic. Been involved, I think, over 10 years there.
Now Chris Brown to Olsema. And Pappas. Dispossessed. Brock Oakley. He's gone about his work with a minimum of fuss so far. Just slotted in nicely to that back 5 or back 3, however you call it for Valentine.
Brock's been a solid player for many years, Bart, and he's used to that sort of role, that right fullback role or right stopper role. So for him, nothing too much changes really. So always good to have when you're playing a back 3 with one of them playing as a sweeper role, because you actually got backup and you got someone barking orders as well. And Chris Brown's doing that superbly today. I think he's been very good at the back.
And he was with Darren Sills at Western in 2015. Darren Sills, the assistant coach for that particular season. Brock Oakley would have been with Darren Sills. The connection there is Murray. Nice in and away on Connor Hayden. And Riley Russell just looped it straight into the path of Graham. Now Duncan. Brings Ollie Davies into the action. Sikulski almost out-muscled by Motherway. Ollie Davies back to Luke Rutledge. Davies. And now Duncan. Hopefully keeping a watchful eye over the young man. Corner kick for the Rosebuds.
You're right, Bart. There's definitely a lull in the game at the moment, isn't there? I think, obviously, first game of the season, players aren't match fit. They would have had quite a few trial games, but they're not match fit and match ready yet. So, like I said before, I think the back end of the game is going to be quite interesting.
There's a short corner for Adamstown. The first time they've played it short this afternoon. Up goes Chris Brown off the back of his neck. He was just in behind. Gave Ben Higgins a nudge. There were some appeals from Rosebuds fans for a penalty. Stymied appeals. O'Brien. Alex Graham. Using the surface to find Davies.
And again, I'd like to see Adamstown a little bit wider, right on the touchline. Spread the back 3 of the defensive Valentine. It's well played by Adamstown, Bart.
Sikulski and Graham chiming in, and now O'Brien tried to just slip that one inside Perry Budden's near post, but nothing's getting past Perry Budden.
Great interchange with the Adamstown midfielders then, Ben. Great ball out to Danilo, but I don't know if he was shooting or crossing. It was sort of hard to tell. But great save again by Perry Budden. He's been absolutely superb, hasn't he?
Well, he's only been beaten by his teammate. He hasn't been beaten by a Rosebuds player. This one again. Can he be beaten this time? Almost through a wall of bodies. It was the strike from Ollie Davies. Hasn't scored in the NPL. And one of Adamstown's most consistent men last year, Ollie Davies, after making the move from Hamilton. He didn't play first grade at Olympic. Came to Adamstown and really got a good go under Shane Cansell Sheriff. It's been so impressive. As Judd Duncan got here from the corner. Give this one a little more height. O'Brien was there. Falls for Sikulski. The volley was it crashed into his own player, who is down on the ground. It might be that man, Ollie Davies, who we're just speaking of. Pappas. Play goes on. He's back to his feet. Judd Duncan from distance. Couldn't keep it down.
And the lights are coming on at Adamstown Oval. Beautiful scenery, isn't it, Bart?
Matt Paul with the touch and tried to round O'Brien. Desperately after this third goal, Valentine. Remember, they have not beaten Adamstown here at Adamstown Oval in their history. In the history of the club, Valentine has only beaten Adamstown once on the top flight. And they've only actually ever played in the top flight because the way they transferred between the grades actually intertwined. So when Valentine were in the top flight, Adamstown were in the second tier, and when Valentine were in the second tier, Adamstown were in the top flight. This is the 6th meeting. Adamstown 5 wins, Valentine 1. And even when Valentine had that golden season in 2017, they still couldn't beat Adamstown here, and that was probably the match which ended their hopes in round 16 of that year, where Adamstown won 4-2.
I do remember that game,
An
Bart.
upset win.
Yes.
Valentine led 2-0 early, I think, or got an early goal, and it all went pear-shaped.
The game's about momentum. We talk about momentum a lot. That loss.
And Valentine season, went out the window.
Yep.
Ben Higgins was dwelled on possession for a moment, but calmly back to Ben Kelly. But he was under pressure, the Adamstown goalkeeper. It's actually the first time for Ben Kelly in his NPL career that he spent more than a season at one club.
Really?
Come back to that in a second as Rutledge flips it over the line. Maitland in 2015, Weston in 2016, Lakes in 2017, and Adamstown since last season. Ben Hay just checking out his ankle here.
He looks fine.
Looks as though he may have just had his boot trodden on and he's going to have to fix up his laces. His former side, Lambton Jaffers, doing it quite easily at the moment. Michael Sessions, Finn Paris and Michael Kantorowski, the goal scorers, and they lead 3-0. Ominous signs for the rest of the competition, but Lambton did it last year. They've got to be more consistent this year, and it's a good start for them. Josh Murray dinks it, and he got a little bit of an elbow maybe, Olsma. Bounced up. And now Higgins. Very classy turn from Ben Higgins.
Very calm, wasn't he?
And then root one to his former Magic teammate, Chris Berlin, who didn't have the numbers around him.
I'm really liking the way Jacob Ballas positioned himself in front of these back three. Just playing triangles through there. He's always a spare man. That's where Adamstown need to put pressure on him. He's always spare.
O'Brien wins the ball in the shadows of the sideline. And now Pappas sees the real estate ahead of him. There's plenty of it. Neat ball into the path of Sikulski along the tarmac, and Chris Brown had to touch that one over the byline because Chris Berlin was breathing down his neck.
Yeah, I'd like to see Shane Cairnsdale, Sheriff, just push one of these centre midfielders more on Bailey. Just advance it, because he's always free in that pocket just in front of the three. Picking up the ball, he's able to turn and play. Just squeeze these midfielders in defence, just squeeze them in a bit, more of a diamond shape, and push right on Bailey.
So Duncan gives it some height again. And it bounced in front of Luke Rutledge. If he had have anticipated that a little better, there was just a slight opening there for Adamstown. This match has not gone for them by any stretch of the imagination. Shane Cansdale Sheriff, their coach in his second season in charge. Did spend some time on the field last year for them.
He's still a very good player.
Terrific player. He was part of the Australian under-19s, under-17 side, I should say, who made the World Cup final. Back in 1999, they played Brazil, finished 0-0 and went down on penalties, 8-7. Now, if that's not an impressive performance, I don't know what is.
I still believe he could comfortably play at this level. Comfortably. I think he was superb for Maitland 2 seasons ago. One of the best defenders in the comp. Still looks fit. How old is Shane?
Plenty of time over in the UK. I'll come back to that. Connor Hayden. And again,
great pressure by Chris Brown. He's been superb in this back three. He reads the play well. Great cover defence.
I can tell you, Shane Cansdale Sheriff is 36, the same age as Chris Berlin, who's out there at the moment up front for Adamstown. Was at Leeds United, didn't play a match for them. Rochdale, Tranmere, Shrewsbury Town, Burton Albion as well for a large period of his career.
I think from memory he's got 4 boys, has he? 4 kids, 4 boys maybe?
I couldn't go that far, Smudge. Higgins.
Great ball.
Now Ollie Davies, he was just having a chat to Aidan Von Essen, who is just taking the bib off for Adamstown. O'Brien just cut infield, falls for Connor Hayden. Quick snapshot into the waiting gloves of Perry Budden, who anticipated it well.
Just going back a step, when the ball went out to Ollie Davies from Higgins, I'd like to see Ollie Davies right on the touchline. He's about 10 yards in. If he gets on the touchline, one of the Valentine's defenders will have to go out to him, which creates space. I'd like to see him just a little bit wider.
So here's the change for Adamstown. Chris Berlin leaves the park, and Aidan Von Essen, young man out there, 18 years of age, moved from Lambton Jaffers to Adamstown Rosebud last season.
Just on Chris Berlin, he's had a tremendous game. His work rate off the ball was tremendous, causing a lot of turnover for Valentine.
Ultimate strike just came off Judd Duncan, and you can see how important he felt it was to keep the ball in. In the end, it's probably not going to amount to much because Valentine have the throw. Darren Sewell said pre-match that Valentine, we're going to try and play a different style this year, a little bit more possession-based football. And they have controlled possession for the last few minutes or so.
And playing a 3-5-2 sort of allows that, because you've got the 3 deep midfielders, which creates this.
Willard, he's already scored 2 this afternoon. The chip, not the direction he would have wanted on that occasion.
Yeah, because they match up against the 4-4-2, so it's allowed Bailey, the centre midfield, to be free a lot of the time. So a lot of the ball's been going through them, meaning they can keep possession.
Ollie Davies. Now cutting infield, Sikulski. Got away from Willard. Now the whistle goes the Rosebuds' way. And Sikulski was a little frustrated after he played the ball. He copped a nudge late. And Mark Carter was playing advantage, but he's brought it back for the free kick.
Yeah, I thought Mark Carter did very well then. Played advantage and then brought it back.
I think he's had a really good game. Young referee.
I actually like the way Mark Carter started the game. He went and actually shook the hands of the bench and the coaches.
Aidan Von Essen brought down in the box, but Mark Carter isn't going to blow the whistle, and I think that's a good decision as well. It looks soft. He was backing into Chris Brown in the box.
Yeah, I don't think that was a penalty. It was sort of
Yeah, you pointed that out to me so much. So Mark Carter pre-match went and shook the hands of every man on the bench.
And yeah, every man on the bench. Normally, the referee might shake the hand of the coaches in the tunnel, but he actually made a point of walking over before the game, while everyone's ready to start, to shake the hands of the entire bench, which I thought was quite good. And probably wished them all the best. Well defended.
O'Brien wins the ball back spectacularly for Adamstown there, and then it's turned over by Pappas. Really fleet footwork, really good fleet footwork from the 18-year-old in 18 for Adamstown. Former Olympic man himself who made the move to Adamstown. There were a few last season. Bailey, Hay.
Great interchange by Valentine.
Look at this movement from the Phoenix.
There's Bailey, he's free again.
One-touch football, just slows down. As Bailey's ball got Motherway on the outside and Sikulski. Well, there's a rugby tackle if I've ever seen one, and he'll go into the book as well. So both of them now with a yellow card to their name.
Them two have had a great duel on that side, haven't they, Bart?
I have loved it. Matt Sikulski, 13 matches for the Buds last season, and starting this afternoon looking to really cement a spot in the Willard and Chris Brown. Jacob Bailey steering it to Olzema. Tried to just chip it up to Ben Hay, who's set up. Well, here's a heavy touch from Kelly, and Olzema almost pounced. And even though he hasn't scored, he's been at the heart of everything Valentine have done in the final third. Brenton Olzema.
I'm loving these two.
Here they go
Motherway
again. And Sikulski.
They've been at each other all game.
Ding, ding. Adamstown already with the one change so far, and Valentine are going to make their first as well. This ball had plenty of height on it. Out comes Perry Budden. I was checking the Facebook comments in the first half, and Jordan Andrews and Matt Jenkins are commenting about how Perry Budden is king, and he has been king this afternoon.
He had a nervous start, didn't he? He had a bit of a turnover, but then he's made some brilliant saves.
And Mary Brennan has also commented she can't be there due to the storms. This one fired across the face of goal by Sikulski. Valentine distributing well out of defence, but Davies got involved, and
I was going to say, but it'll be good for the Facebook viewers to give us some names of who would be man of the match, their man of the match.
Well, Perry Budden has been close to man of the match for mine. Some of those saves in the opening half to deny Sikulski, and also Connor Hayden. There's a terrific ball from Higgins. Von Essen almost in behind, but Riley Russell has got plenty of toe. An important intervention there. It just quickly, Mary Brennan saying she can't be there tonight. She's at work, watching at work. Don't tell the boss, Mary. Here's dinked in by Duncan.
Good defensive structure by Valentine there. They stay compacted, wait for the ball to go out, then they put pressure on, causing the turnover.
And you can see Phil Coyner, Adamstown's assistant coach, out of his seat, a little frustrated. A little win there for the Phoenix. We see Josh Carroll waiting to head out there for Valentine.
I will say it's been an entertaining game. A little bit rusty. There's been a fair bit of turnover. Just waiting on a substitution here. We're unsure who's been subbed.
Confusion all rounds. And Brenton Olzema will leave the park. You can hear the round of applause he's getting from Valentine fans.
I think he was looking for the board.
Surprising. Hasn't been aboard since the grand final. He would have played in the 2015 grand final. I don't think there would have been a board down on the Central Coast when he was playing.
Well, you never know.
Valentine, number 12, Brendan.
I know when you are watching a lot of A-League, maybe you think then that you get the board in the NPL as well. Just subconscious. Connor Hayden. And now Alex Graham, just quickly, a goal at Arthur Eden Oval. Lake Macquarie make it 3-1. So they've bridged that deficit to just 2 goals now, the Roosters. Is there a late fight back? We remember in round 1 last year, Lambton fell apart late and then Ben Hay actually won the game for them. The last kick, 4-3 against Edgeworth. O'Brien just dinked it around Riley Russell and tried to win it back.
Well defended by Valentine.
Things just looking up here for Adamstown.
Well, you see Valentine sort of creeping a little bit deeper, giving them more space in midfield. If they can move the ball nice and quick, get a bit of movement off the ball, it's a good ball in.
Perry Budden collects. And for a side who's won just 3 of their last 24 matches, they've just got to remember, they've just got to get that feeling back and know how to close out a match, Valentine. They haven't won many lately. Just 1 of their last 10 away from home. A similar story for Adamstown. They've won just 6 of their last 38 at Adamstown Oval. So 2 sides who...
I think the momentum's starting to shift with Adamstown. It's been very tight. Probably a little bit slower in the first half. In the second half. First half was quite end-to-end sort of stuff. But I think you're looking at Valentine, they're starting to drop a little bit deeper, giving Adamstown a bit more room in midfield. Adamstown playing with a bit more width, which is working for them.
Duncan. He's got a little bit more mobility than Brock Oakley. He's going to have to sprint back here. Von Essen. Next to the touchline. O'Brien. Now Graham. Higgins. He's got a terrific long ball, hasn't he, Ben Higgins?
He has. He hits a dead ball really well. You know what I like about Adamstown with their names on the back.
Terrific. Looks really professional, doesn't it?
It does, and it's easy to call as well.
In their 130th year, Von Essen.
Turn.
Steps away from Riley Russell. Not too many people beat him for pace. And off the back of Matt Paul, Josh Carroll now out there, who hasn't scored in over a year. Josh Carroll didn't score last season for Valentine. Surprising. And now Duncan between the lines, no one to collect for Adamstown.
If you look at Valentine, they're looking a little bit tired. They had 10 or 9 players in a space of that 20 by 20 square yardage. They're dropping deeper, looking very tight. Look at Jacob Bell in the centre of the park. He's got his hands on his hips. He's had a mountain of work today. He's been superb for Valentine.
And it's an easy formation, isn't it, to just sit back a little deeper, playing 3 or 5 at the back, 3 in the midfield. Judd Duncan has the run inboard of Von Essen, and he tried to fire it into Chris Brown with the important block, the skipper.
But you spoke about Perry Budden having a superb game. Chris Brown has been dynamite in the centre of those back three, playing that sweeper role. He has covered everything very well. He's marshalled his troops.
The next few minutes, last strength, ladies and gentlemen.
And on cue there he was, screaming out at his defence. It's hooked clear by Willard, who scored 2 this afternoon. Luke Willard for Valentine Phoenix. Adamstown's goal came off the boot of Riley Russell.
Good movement by Adamstown.
And here's a free kick. They get their reward, Smudge.
Oh, well deserved. And the thing is, Valentine's sitting off the ball. They're allowing Adamstown to move the ball around nice and quick, allowing them to turn. And there's good ball movement. Good movement off the ball. Adamstown are coming here, I feel. And like you said, Valentine are just dropping deeper and deeper and deeper.
I agree. Adamstown are definitely coming, and we are set up big time for a grandstand finish at Adamstown Oval. Rosebuds fans will be cheering them on, and Talon Martin is getting ready. Back in the NPL after some time in the New FM Northern League 1. Could he be the man? The magic man for Adamstown. That free kick, a poor effort in the end from Ollie Davies. They want his time over again. But they've got to keep their heads up here, Adamstown.
It's been another goal at Lambton, Bart.
4-1 Lambton leading against Lake Macquarie. So Ben Higgins off, Talon Martin on.
So that's a defensive player for an attacking player. Talon Martin, a striker. Ben Higgins, obviously a fullback.
Well, let's have a look. Have they gone to three at the back here, Adamstown?
They're gone to three at the back.
And Sam Griffin. Maybe Valentine just looking to change something up as well now that Adamstown have gone to three at the back.
Adamstown Rosebuds, number 4, Ben Higgins.
So,
replaced by number
stepping away from a
23,
couple,
Martin.
Sikulski. Riley Russell with a header away.
Do you know what? Adamstown are actually getting on top of Valentine, for the last 5 or 10 minutes, playing that 4-4-2, especially with Valentine sitting deeper. I think going to a 3 at the back might actually suit Valentine a bit, but I could be wrong. But they can just match up.
Match up nicely, yeah.
Match up nicely. Where before they were looking tight and then they had to shuffle players around because of the different shapes. So going to a 3 at the back, which I think is a good move by Shane Keensdale-Sheriff. Just depends how he plays his 3 at the back as well. If he plays his 3 up front, he'll play with the 2 up front, which sort of matches Valentine.
A fascinating decision. We'll find out whether it will work. Ben Hay. Out to Riley Russell, who chimes in. Down the left. Bailey. Just from his blind side, Judd Duncan arrived, but that's the strength of Jacob Bailey.
He's been good again today.
This ball hooked in. O'Brien. And now Von Essen. Talon Martin, I should say Connor Hayden it was. Tried to barrel over Russell and gives away the foul. And Talon Martin up front. He actually played with Connor Hayden at Thornton back in 2013. We'll see if they can develop a little bit of a combination.
You know what I like to see Adamstown do? He play with 3 up front, like one split, one left winger, one right winger, really split the back 3 of Valentine this final 10 minutes. There'll be gaps all the way through.
Talon Martin's gone all the way over to the far side of the ground, and Judd Duncan here to the right. So maybe that's what they're doing here, even though in defence currently. Ben Hay just went for power. Can't he strike a football?
And well taken by Kelly. He was under pressure. Yeah, I like to see Adamstown play a 3-4-3. Really split the 3 of the defenders of Valentine. Sorry about that.
And again, just not on the same wavelength going forward, Adamstown. Time is of the essence.
That's what I was saying before. They had the momentum going playing this 4-4-2 shape. They were getting into really good positions, having quite a few good chances. So it might take them a few minutes to actually get accustomed to this 3 at the back.
Is that a text from CT? He said, is he trying to make a pun? What was I saying? Time is of the essence. I think he was saying time is of the Von Essen. That's CT quality, isn't it?
No comment from me.
Well,
I hope he doesn't pull out a joke tomorrow just quietly.
Well, let's hope not. Luke Willard, it almost deflected off his head. On goal, in the end wide, and Ben Kelly scrambled out to win it back for Adamstown. Von Essen. Connor Hayden, maybe a little scorpion kick in there. Back heel.
Yeah, unfortunately I'm going to miss tomorrow's big grand final replay, so with family commitments. But
and a really big game, that one, between Magic and Edgeworth. 2:30 tomorrow. Don't miss it. Here's a strike from distance by Matt Sikulski. And he's cramping up here. And it's a right calf. What was Jacob Bailey saying to him there, do you think? He wasn't going to help him out.
oh, not at all. He's such a competitor, Jacob Bailey.
And Valentine about to make another change as well. Duncan, up it goes. And players flying everywhere. And the free kick goes the way of Valentine.
And again, Jacob Bailey has made so many crucial headers inside that 6-yard box from set pieces. He's been superb as well.
Just putting his body on the line.
He does. He always has. And can you hear the cheer over at the Adamstown Bowling Club? From this distance, it looks like maybe a buck show or something's going on over there.
I can. A bit of lawn bowls is going on as well. I would assume lawn bowls under the impairment of some beverages, so it would be an interesting game. Maybe we'll head there and live stream that next match. How'd you feel about commentating that?
Might join him.
Matt Paul. little pirouette. And now Brock Oakley. Well, that's just thumped long.
Just on Matty Paul, he's gone about his business really well again today. He's been like just doing what he has to do. Probably haven't mentioned his name as much, but he's had a great game. Just positioned himself in the middle of the park. Him, Bailey, and Hay, they're a great combination.
I think he's a man who's very much going to fly under the radar. Matt Paul with the addition of Ben Hay and Jacob Bailey as Riley Russell just went flying through the air. Connor Hayden played in by Von Essen. And just in behind, Sikulski was arriving late. Did it come off Sikulski last? It did. I just want to look here at the final 15 minutes last season. These two sides were poor, to be brutally honest.
That is honest.
Adamstown scored 4, conceded 12. That was the worst defensive performance in the final 15. For Valentine, not much better. Scored 4 themselves, conceded 9. The fourth worst. As Luke Willard, 2 goals this afternoon. Couldn't quite nab a third, and they were terrific finishes too.
You know what, he worked hard in defence as well. He was busy in attack. He was dropping just off the back 4 of Adamstown into the pockets, turning and hitting. Him and Bretton Alzheimer's got a bit of a lethal connection there going forward.
And Mitch Lawrence heads out there. He's a young striker, 18 years of age, actually turns 19 on Friday. Made his starting debut here at Adamstown Oval last season against the Rosebuds. Hasn't scored an NPL goal, but 3 in the 18s. And Darren Sills and Sam Griffin will be looking for him to do some work in the final third. Hold up the ball. Take some time out of this one. Duncan. Now Hayden, his first touch was heavy. His first NPL match since round 13 last season when he injured his knee against Hamilton. Great to see him back, and he's just getting himself back into some form. Had some good chances in the first half, Connor Hayden, but second half he's been rather quiet.
That was well defended by Riley Russell, wasn't it? Adamstown putting a lot of pressure on Valentine at the moment. They're sitting deep, but well defended by Riley Russell.
So both sides with 1 substitution up their sleeve. Flicked into the path of Hayden. Josh Murray read it well.
From memory, I don't think there'll be too much stoppage time, but there's a few people went down. I think it might be a few minutes.
Just for the substitutions, no real stoppages apart from that.
And again, Von Essen is in a bit too narrow for me. I like to see him nice and wide because that brings the defender out.
Well, here he is making a run wide towards the corner flag. Connor Hayden opts to run infield, and with the outside of his boot, just curled it in front of Sikulski. Sits in the grass nicely, bent in. Brock Oakley, the header away. Sikulski may get another bite at the cherry here.
When I talk about wide, but I'll mean on the touchline, on the chalk. You need to be nice and wide. That sucks the defenders out.
Again, Josh Murray strong in the air. But it's all hands to the pump for the visiting Valentine Phoenix. Judd Duncan rode the challenge, and Jacob Bailey is going to go into the book here, and that's the reason Mark Carter has pulled up play.
I think he had it again. I think Mark Carter would have went play on. Jacob Bailey, very tired challenge.
Exactly, and he could have come back to award the yellow card. And now Pappas, well, it's a waste, isn't it?
You can hear Shane, Cairnsdale Sheriff, just saying settle. Don't need to rush things. There's still, what, 5 or so minutes to go.
He's never too far away from a yellow card as Jacob Bailey. But he has got through a mountain of work, as we've mentioned.
Yeah, he's been superb, Jacob Bailey. Great addition to Valentine. And again, there's not too much width here from Adamstown. I'd like to see him come out nice and wide.
There is Hayden, just next to the touchline. It hangs up. There's Sikulski. And it dipped behind the goal. For a moment, and I thought it might have been in, but it was just wide of that far post. I did notice, Smudge, that Graham Law is actually watching. He's had a great afternoon. Cooks Hill beating Thornton 4-0 in their opening round match. I was actually talking to him during the week, talking about the possibility that Cooks Hill might get promoted next year. And he said he would hang around, coach the side in the NPL.
They are such a strong club, Cooks Hill United. Their junior base is unbelievable.
Just like New Lambton as well. New Lambton have got a big season ahead of them too. They beat Cessnock 1-0 this afternoon. So two sides looking for promotion, winning in UFM. This one here is going right down to the wire. Ollie Davies.
Starting to look tired, aren't they, Bart?
In, and Matt Sikulski again, he's really cramping up. That right calf is giving him some grief, and you sense Liam Ryan is about to come on to replace him. Former Maitland man. Came to Adamstown last season. Just 18 years of age.
Yeah, just going back on Cooks Hill, their junior base is very solid. I know some kids at my daughter's school couldn't even get a spot because the teams were all full.
And the lack of grounds as well. I know that's a real concern for New Lambton. They have had to turn people away because they haven't got enough grounds to play.
Yeah, their junior club's just such a powerhouse, and it complements the senior club.
And with more young girls playing football, I think that's a problem which could get worse with the ground availability. I know a lot of women's football's played on a Sunday, but it's an ongoing issue. You can't be turning people away because of lack of grounds. I'm not saying that's the club's fault. It's just the lack of facilities that makes things really tough. Chris Brown.
And as you know, the population in Newcastle is just growing and growing and growing.
We need more grass.
That's right. Especially in the city, with all the high-rises going up, it's becoming very dense. Well controlled.
Von Essen. Just in front of the grandstand here at Adamstown Oval, which barely has a spare seat. Eyes fixated on this contest. Davies. Dinked up, Perry Budden attempts the punch. Oh, it was bobbling all over the place, and a heavy touch from Connor Hayden. It just hasn't been his half, this second 45. Well, it hasn't been his afternoon, really.
He's worked hard, but Connor Hayden, he's been busy.
He's been so busy, but Perry Budden has denied him on a few occasions. Pappas. Still Manoli Pappas. And look at that strong challenge from Ben Hay. And
he's worked hard, hasn't he, Ben Hay, as well?
We just flicked it up wide here and just takes a few more seconds off the clock because Aidan Von Essen in possession. Trying to find Liam Ryan, who's out there now for Adamstown.
And again, Valentine has all their plays virtually centred around the 18-yard box.
Terrific start this match to the NPL Northern New South Wales season.
Has there been a clean sheet this weekend so far, Bart? From memory?
And I don't mind that. Love goals.
Goals
some
are good.
people love defence.
From a coach's point of view, they thrive on clean sheets.
So here is the final change for Valentine. It's Connor Motherway who has made way for the new man Josh Kerr. Adamstown under-20s player last season, coming back to his former stomping ground at Adamstown Oval. Just quickly, Lambton lead Lane Macquarie 5-1. That is a statement and a half.
Just on Motherway, he's been superb again. He's nice width for Valentine. He's attacked really well. Him and Sokolsky, their duel was absolutely superb today. Both given 100%. Their work ethic was great.
And that's why they've both left the field, you could probably argue, because they were just going at it so hard.
And up and down the line.
And they're both stuffed. You saw Matt Sikulski, who was cramping up, really fatigued. Now Motherway's sitting down, stretching out. Perry Budden out of his 18-yard box. He's had to put it over the line. And now Liam Ryan.
He's put the team under a bit of pressure here.
Brock Oakley sliding in. Josh Kerr gets, I should say, Mitch Lawrence got a touch in there. And the free kick to the Phoenix.
So we're in out of time at the moment, but I think Shane Kensdale Sheriff will be disappointed not to get at least something out of the game. They've had enough chances to pull one back, haven't they? Especially in the second half. I thought they controlled the second half better than Valentine, but I thought Valentine controlled the first half better. Interesting that Valentine scored all 3 goals as well.
Yeah, an early own goal. Set up by the pressure from Connor Hayden, really. Riley Russell snuck inside the back post, and Luke number 2 for Valentine is a really strong challenge, and the Phoenix fans are full of voice at the moment. They won
Coaches unhappy, Valentine. They thought it was a throw the other way.
They won just 2 matches last season, Valentine, both against Western. 3 of their last 24 they've won. This would be a huge start to the season.
Adamstown's not die wondering, aren't they? Full credit to Adamstown. They've really put a big fight into them.
Now Connor Hayden, took a little deflection, and Perry Budd, who were just squirming there under him, held it in nicely.
I must say, but full credit to both sets of players. They all look exhausted. It's been end-to-end stuff. Probably the second half was a little bit slower than the first half, but...
Is there a handball in there from Alex Graham? Wasn't spotted by Carter. And now Hayden. Getting towards last chance saloon here, and almost Hayden Von Essen. He's been dangerous down the right.
Perry Budden put his team under pressure again.
He had a nervy start to the game, Perry Budden. And
he's been superb, absolutely superb. And the last few times, he just put his team under a little bit of pressure when he didn't need to.
Yeah, a nervy finish as well. So just inviting some pressure. Full time at Arthur Eden Oval, 5-1. Lambton have beaten Lake Macquarie. Matt Paul. This is smart stuff from the veteran, just taking some time off the clock. And Josh Murray. Chips it wide, searching for Ben Hay. Riley Russell.
He's been good, hasn't he?
Those little 1%ers winning the ball there and just preventing Adamstown from going down the other end. And here's another free kick for Valentine. They'll take their time again. And Adamstown's wait for a round 1 victory in the top flight is going to go on for another year. They haven't won in round 1 in the top flight since 2004. When they beat Toronto. Ben Kelly calmly under the ball. 2-1 it was at half time. And 2-1 it remains at the moment. No second half goals. Both sides have cancelled each other out after a flurry of first half opportunities. Now Bailey. Josh Carroll, the substitute. Now showing some toe is Mitch Lawrence down the far side. So still time goes on. Darren Sills and Sam Griffin.
Yeah, they're looking a bit tense, aren't they, on the sideline?
And looking very tense. The co-coaches for Valentine. Newly minted co-coaches this year. Von Essen. Up and over the top. Chris Brown like a rock at the back as he's been for 90 plus minutes. Josh Carroll. He's got no one around him. And he is still going, Josh Carroll. Ollie Davies just thwarted him. And the Phoenix's quest to put 2018 behind them begins with success. The first time in their history that they have defeated Adamstown at Adamstown Oval. What a result for them. They'll be a side full of confidence next week as they head to Maitland to take on the Magpies. And for Adamstown, their poor NPL form at home continues. That's 6 wins in their last 39 here at Adamstown Oval. And they'll be planning on turning that around next weekend when the also winless Western arrives at Adamstown Oval. Full time, Adamstown Rosebud 1, Valentine Phoenix 2. Damien Smith. Second half where both sides really cancelled each other out after a first half where we saw lots of chances.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the first half was quite, it was good, great viewing, wasn't it? It was end-to-end sort of stuff. I think Shane Cansdale Sheriff will be a bit disappointed they didn't get anything out of the game today. I thought they sort of controlled the second half probably a little bit better than Valentine. They probably have more chances and opportunities to equalise. However, full credit to Darren Sill and Sam Griffin from Valentine. I like their setup, the 3-5-2. Chris Brown at the back line, he really controlled things. I thought he was one of the best on ground. Jacob Bailey just sitting in front, he was quality. And full credit to Valentine. I think they'll take a lot of positives out of this game. They play Maitland next week away. I think they might cause a few issues for Maitland at Maitland as well. So, however, they did look a bit underdone. They sort of died off in that last 20 minutes or so. So, where Adamstown were going. So, but what a great afternoon. It's great to be back. And
it was really good to be back, and yeah, just disappointing for Adamstown after last season. Of course, that win in the final round against Valentine, they couldn't bring that form here home. Chris Berlin just talking to the referees actually, full time. Maybe just having a little bit of a joke as well with Mark Carter, who I thought did a really good job.
I thought he did quite well as well. He's only a young referee. He allowed play to go on in certain areas. I think Chris Berlin might have been talking about when they might have had a pen before, but you know, that was touch and go. But you know what, they look dejected, don't they, Adamstown? They were very confident going into this game. They thought they were going to get the 3 points, but full credit to Valentine. I thought the shape sort of favoured them a little bit, having those 3 central midfielders, which outnumbered the 2 for Adamstown, which created Jacob Bailey, just being free a lot of the times, able to do his little triangles. But yeah, I thought it was a very entertaining game, and you know, credit to both teams actually, because they gave 100%.
Yep, really good match to start this season. A really important win for Valentine Phoenix. Damien Smith, it's been a pleasure to be alongside you this evening. And we will be back tomorrow from 2:25 p.m. as Broadmeadow Magic host Edgeworth Eagles. Myself and Chris Turner will be there for that one. Cannot wait, Smudge. That'll be a cracker.
Yeah, I wish I was there. I've sort of got other commitments tomorrow, but oh, that's mouth-watering, isn't it? I think that it's going to be an interesting game. The attack of Broadmeadow with the defence, also the attack of Edgeworth as well. But they're such a good defensive unit, Edgeworth. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the result is.
All right, well, thanks for your company tonight. Great to be back for the NPL in 2019. We'll catch you tomorrow afternoon.